Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Bhimasurya, and I'm part of Group 4. In this presentation, we will talk about phonology, the sound of pattern of language, part 2. This is our member. Okay, so this is a discussion about phonological process. As we begin to grow up, no one formally teaches us how to speak. It is perhaps less obvious than with math or biology, for instance, that language is role governed. They specify whether to add, delete, or change element in either form to a form that is easier to pronounce or perceive. For instance, we say hum, not hem, because hum is easier to pronounce. Vowels are usually not nasalized in English, however, because the in hum is nasalized, the speaker subconsciously begins to lower the volume, opening the nasal cavity before the is produced. The result is that the preceding vowel is nasalized in the process. This process of nasalizing a vowel before a nasal consonant is an example of an obligatory phonological process. So in this phonological process, there are two processes. The first is obligatory phonological process, and the second one is optional phonological process. And next will be displayed by my friend Tiara.
I will explain about obligatory phonological process, especially in assimilation. Assimilation is the obligatory phonological process that makes it easier to pronounce combination of sounds by making those sounds share a distinctive feature that in other environments, one of the sounds would not have. Why is it easier? For example, it is easier to say than him, that it takes fewer articulatory movement because the is nasalized configuration of the vocal tract towards the end of the production of the vowel. Manner assimilation. Manner assimilation involves making a string of sounds easier to pronounce by making one of them conform to manner of articulation of the others. In the example given, the A like A and E stick together, which usually is not nasalized, comes to agree in manner of articulation with the nasal And for example, cat, but can, to, cut, but come. And the next will be explanation by my friends.
Hello, my name is PUAN and SABINA, number student 130. Voice assimilation. Assimilation is a general term in phonetics for the process by which a speech sound becomes similar or identical to a neighboring sound. In the opposite process dissimilation, sounds become less similar to another one. The term assimilation comes from the Latin, meaning make similar to. In English, nasalized vowels occur only because of assimilation. In other languages, such as French and Polish, nasalized vowels may occur without an ejected nasal consonant, as the term suggests sounds often come to agree in the feature voice or voiceless. The diacritic indicates devoicing the following example also show this principle, like when, between, thin, re, but pray. Next. The opposite of devoicing also can occur, that it's in certain contexts, a speaker may automatically choose a voice sound to follow another voice sound and vice versa. We will automatically pluralize the word, however, we will pluralize cap as caps with Z, bam as bams, and zoo as zoos. In this case, a voice sound is followed by a voice variant of the plural. Manner and voice assimilation are the two types of assimilation. Consider the following words: impatient, intangible, incomplete. In this example, these two spellings represent their pronunciation, like im, in, and ing. If we look at the phonetic segment that follow these prefix in each word above, a pattern emerges. The bilabial ma is followed by pa, which is also a bilabial. Number 2, the alveolar nga is followed by an alveolar ta. The velar nga is followed by the velar ka. Next will be my friend. Thank you.
Okay, I'm RANETTA RAFINDRA, and my last digit student number is 133. I will explain about another example of an obligatory phonological process in English is aspiration. Aspiration is a strong burst of breath or puff of air that accompanies the pronunciation of voiceless plosive or oral stops such as sound p, t, and k in English. Aspiration involves the addition of a phonetic feature. As we learned before, the sound p, t, and k is unvoiced or voiceless, so there is no vibration in the throat. In this case, a sound does not come to be more like ejection sound as in assimilation process. For example, the sound p in the word pen, the sound t in the word tap, and the sound k in the word key. But the things you should know that the sound above are not always aspirated. The rules state the aspiration are the p, t, and k must appear in initial position in a word, followed by a vowel and not preceded by s. For example, the sound p in the word pie is aspirated, but the sound p in the word spy are not aspirated because the sound p in the word spy is not the initial position and it is preceded by s. Same goes for the sound t in the word take is aspirated, but not in the sound t in the word stick. That's why it's unaspirated. Okay, the next will be explained by my friend.
I'm Tiffany Ezzerlie with my last student number is 131. And now I'm going to explain about the optional phonological process. An optional phonological process is a pattern that is applied by individuals or group of individuals, and it is not necessarily characteristic of most native speakers of a language. It is stylistic. So optional phonological process simply create differences in speech styles. With optional processes, major changes may be made. For example, the word in word something. The last syllable may be pronounced as something or something. Optional processes may involve changes in syllabicity. A change in syllabicity involves an alternative pronunciation of a syllable from an idealized pronunciation. The choice is optional, with the former usually being used in formal situation, and the latter is in casual situation. For example, in the word readily, the pronunciation become readily because it is make us easier to pronounce it. And the last one, we can do the opposite thing by insert a sound. A difficult consonant cluster such as th in athlete may be made simpler to pronounce by adding a vowel. For example, athlete becomes athlete. So that's all for our presentation today. Thank you.